Hello and welcome to the monthly Marquee. I'm your host, Bart Levins, Director for the Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center. Our first guest is Miss Sarah Dakin, representing the Central Hardin High School Drama Club. Sarah, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me today.
So we're down at Bikini Bottom.
We are, yes. So I don't know where you could live to not have been exposed to SpongeBob at some point. So it's a great show to bring in folks who might not know that they are theater people because it's already some familiar content. But it's really its own thing. It's not, we're not just putting one of the episodes on stage, right. You know, because kids have come up to me and they've been like, well, how are we going to do the part when is, and I'm like, we're not going to do all of these years of episodes in one show. Like, that's impossible. So it's got this, there's a volcano, they have to figure out how to save the day, teamwork, everybody figuring out what their strengths are, plot, which, you know, as I've said to some people, like, what better way to, you know, think about with a group of people working together on a project that everybody working together on a project that you think is impossible, right? Like, anything can happen.
But, you know, we've just been having such a good time. Because of the content, I've got some brand new kids who've never done theater before. Mm-hmm. You know, one kid I was talking to and his family was like, oh, you really are doing this? Like, you know, they thought he was kind of kidding, you know, so it's just been so fun and they're learning so much. And then I've got, you know, a few veterans who I think are kind of reinvigorated by the energy of having some brand new folks.
That's
so,
what I find too.
Yeah. We're having a really good time. So we've got a cast of high schoolers, and then I've been working with Holly Tabor to recruit some middle school sardines.
Yeah, speaking
from East
about
Hardin.
new kids, yeah.
Yeah, so bringing up some of those folks. So I'm gonna, in fact, I've only worked with them through email up to this moment. Like, we're gonna start working with the sardines, think that Patrick Starr has the best plan, which is to close our eyes and do nothing. And so they follow him around. So I'm going to start working together with Garrett and the Sardines next week. And we're just so excited to have them and, you know, hopefully build them up into our program in the next few years.
Well, and you were sharing that your son, who's in kindergarten,
yes,
is
at GC Burkhead.
At GC Burkhead is going to be Gary.
He is. And, you know, the script says that it should be a puppet.
Yeah.
But we went to see it at Campbellsville over the summer, and they had a child do it. And I was like, oh. But I'm going to wait a little bit and see if I think he can handle it. You know, he had just barely done a dance recital at that point, you know, like. And
well, they did the Christmas show with Heart of Kentucky.
Yes, but this was months before I'd put him on stage in front of hundreds of people when I was deciding if I thought he could do it. And a couple weeks later in the car, he said, Mama, you know how they had that little child do that?
He brought it up.
Do you think I could do it? And I was like, heck yeah, buddy, let's do it.
He brought it up.
Oh
my gosh.
So actually the snow days didn't hurt us because I was at home with Malcolm and he got to come to rehearsals that he wouldn't have been able to come to before, you know. So he's got his meow down pretty good. So
now, is this one of the large, I mean, bringing in the middle school and again, your son is Gary, is this one of the larger casts you've worked with?
Not of actors, but we do have a live band too. So we have like more than half of the actors are also musicians and they'll come in and out. And then we have a core band of 6 or 7 who will play throughout. And in fact, in the finale of the show, everybody's going to have something in their hands.
Oh my
so
gosh.
it's, you know, it's just a big one of those, like, but it's also so comforting because I'm like, this is totally silly. Everybody is doing multiple roles except SpongeBob. Like, people are say their line, run off, change their costume, and run on and say something as someone else, you know? So, like, it really just kind of frees you up that anything can happen in that kind of
There's
setting,
no rules.
You know?
Anything's possible. It's all about the world you create. When you were talking about multiples, there are multiple composers for this show.
Yes, very much so. And, you know, I was never a big fan of the cartoon. Like, my kids had turned it on once in a while in a hotel when there was cable, you know, but I started paying attention to the show because I used to really love a public radio game show on which Jonathan Colton did these like games, but they were songs. Mm-hmm. And they're just always so clever. And so when I found out that he was one of the writers of the musical, I was like, oh, I need to pay attention to this. And then of course, then there's Cyndi Lauper and John Legend, which, like, I'm not even really a John Legend fan, but John Legend having SpongeBob and Patrick sing a meaningful duet, heck yes. Like, it's so much fun, you know? So there's just something for everybody. family friendly. There are a few jokes that the adults are going to be like, and the kids are going to have no idea.
Yeah.
But just like the cartoon,
Well, when are the shows?
March 8th and 9th, we have a morning show on the 8th that's getting full, but we have a little bit of room. If there's still folks out there who'd like to join us, we'd love to have them. And then an evening show at 7 on the 8th and a matinee at 4 on the 9th. Just a really great time. We've got the Foley artists Fish, who make live sound effects to go along with things that are happening. They're going to be literally like 3 levels of things to watch during the show the whole time. So
Wonderful, wonderful. And of course, they can get tickets at thepack.net.
that's right.
Sarah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up on the Monthly Marquee, please join me in welcoming Garrett Milby, our Spotlight student for the month. Garrett.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Fancy meeting you here.
Just taking a stroll, stopped.
It's just so nice out here.
It's so nice, so lovely. It's a beautiful garden with these plants.
It needs a little water, just a little. Hey, thank you so much for being our Spotlight this month.
Thank you for having me.
Been a long time coming. What was the first thing that you remember doing at the Performing Arts Center?
Oh, that was over a decade ago, but it was when I was 7, and it was my first theater production. It was with the Missoula's Children Theater, and it was a production of Snow White, where I was a bat.
You were a bat?
I was a bat. A tiny little bat. Just little me with wings.
What do you remember about that experience? Why did you do that? Was that Dad or Mom's idea? Was it your idea?
It was actually just kind of spontaneous. So it's a week-long event, as most people know. But on that Monday, I was just playing on my little 3DS, and my mom and dad were like, hey, there's this thing happening at the Pack. Do you want to join it? Maybe like try out for it? And I was like, sure, why not? So then went there and fell in love.
I was going to say, is that when the bug bit?
That's when the bug bit.
Or the bat?
The bat.
Bit?
The bat.
The bat bit.
Does that make me a vampire?
Yeah.
But so, as much as he hates to admit it, he's the reason why I'm in theater, because he was the one that kind of like pushed me to audition for that first production.
And then, seems like shortly after that, you got involved with Youth Theater of Hardin County. I know it was six years, but
Years after.
yeah.
But yeah,
You did a lot of Missoula Children's Theater.
a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a lot until I just had to stop because it didn't work out with my schedule in middle school. But that's when I started Youth Theater of Hardin County, as you talked about, and it was just such a great experience. I'm a very educational guy. I want to go into education. It's very fun, and Youth Theater of Hardin County, it's so intensive, but in a fun way. It's you really make your family, your friends there, and you just learn so many skills. Like I learned to tap.
In quotes.
In quotes. Can't do it on command, but we can work there.
You know, and we've been talking about this a lot today. You're really interested in that intersection between education and theater. You want just tell me a little bit how you see those two things working together, how it's affected you.
Yeah, so theater and education, I believe, go hand in hand. School, while it's important in teaching the core subjects, it's also just preparing students for life, and that's where I really think theater comes in, and it really brings a lot of value with kind of bringing students out of their shell, teaching them more public speaking skills. But even when you look past the performance part, a lot of students work backstage. They get to work on their skills. Like I know a lot of art and design students work on sets. A lot of potential fashion people work on costuming. And even if you want to work and learn leadership skills, there's a lot of value in being a stage manager. So it just has so many roles in different places for education to just bring out students' interest.
Yeah. No, and speaking of roles, before we run out of time, you're getting ready to do, I was about to say, you're getting ready to do SpongeBob the Musical. You're doing Patrick in SpongeBob the Musical.
Yes, with Central Hardin.
Yeah. Now, when is that?
That is on March 8th and 9th. There are only 2 performances. On the 8th, it's around sometime in the night, and then on the Saturday, it's in the afternoon.
Cool, cool. And you can find out those times and ticket information on thepack.net.
Yes.
So that's always there. And where are you with the process of SpongeBob? How are you feeling about it?
We're in that place where it's starting to get a little stressful because you're like, it's coming up. There's a show. We gotta go. But we still got plenty of time, and there are things still coming together. And our director, Sarah Dakin, she really talked about at our rehearsal yesterday. She was like, every time I see these numbers and every time I just see y'all interacting, it gets better and better. So we're at that point of, we're still struggling on a few things, but it's really coming together. It's having those moments of, there's character.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to it. It's a fun show. It really demands a lot of the cast and the crew because it's very fast-paced. So I'm really looking forward to see what Ms. Dakin and you guys do with the show. March at the Pack.
Yep.
And here we are out on the veranda for the monthly Marquee with my guest, Miss Carrie Lewis, representing the Hardin County Playhouse. Carrie, welcome.
Welcome.
You're used to this. You've been out cruising.
Yes.
Where did you go on your cruise?
We went to Costa Rica, Colombia, Cartagena in particular, Panama, Grand Cayman, and Jamaica.
And you got back just in time for the lovely Martin Luther King week weather.
Yes. I missed most of it, though.
Ah.
But then I had to go to the grocery, and there was nothing there.
There was nothing, yes, exactly.
nothing.
Well, there is plenty, however, going on over at the Hardin County Playhouse.
That's right.
You, speaking of snowy weather, you just had auditions and have cast the production of Almost Maine, a kind of snowbound, I always kind of think of it as like a snow globe kind of show. It's a beautiful little piece.
Yes, it is. I think everybody will enjoy that. It's all about love and friendship and relationships, and it's a quaint, fun little collection of stories.
And it all takes place in a town called Almost, in Maine,
In Maine, yes.
and it's bitter cold weather
Yes.
for most of the show.
Yes, yes, it is, and it's really going to be good. Jared Eaton is directing that, so we're really excited about that. He's very talented, and I don't know when his rehearsals are going to be getting underway, but I'm sure that they are going to be getting underway soon. But that show will be opening in March. In fact, March the 21st through the 24th, and the 28th through the 31st.
And this is not the first time that the Playhouse has done Almost Maine.
No.
Once before?
Yes, at least once before in
Yeah.
my memory.
Yeah. I've seen it there, and I've seen it a couple other places. A theater in Lebanon just finished doing it not too long ago. It's always wonderful. It's a series of monologues and dialogue scenes. Some funny, some heart-wrenching a little bit, and but it's just a lovely, lovely piece.
It's got all the feels.
It's got all the feels,
All the feels.
exactly. What do you have coming up after Almost Maine?
After that, we've got Godspell. Now, I don't know when auditions. We haven't scheduled those in yet. Depends on when our director is going to be available for that, but that'll be in June.
Okay.
So that'll be the next thing, and we're working on our new season. So
That's good. That's your closer, isn't it?
yeah, that's our closer. So we'll have some more plays to talk about next time.
Wonderful. And again, how can people learn more about not only Almost Maine's performances, but auditions when they're posted for Godspell?
Well, Facebook is probably the most reliable way. We had some difficulties with our website when they sold the Yahoo, that mess. So our old website is up, and our new website can be found still, but it's somewhere out in the internet.
I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah.
That's just concerning. Now, I will note that I have been receiving emails from Hardin County Playhouse reminding me of what's going on. So something is working.
Something's working great. Good to know.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
But Facebook is a good way to find out where to get your tickets in advance, and you can buy them at the door, get them on Ticket Leap. So we'll be offering those tickets as soon as it gets closer to time. So,
Very good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Carrie, welcome back.
Thank you.
Bundle up, and we'll have some hot chocolate and join you for Almost Maine.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hey, next up on the Monthly Marquee, we have Miss Priscilla Scarborough representing the State Theater. Priscilla, how are you doing?
Hi, hello, thank you.
We are at the balmy veranda as it is bitterly cold outside.
No, we need our cappuccinos or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. And you have your notes there. I'm not going to read over your shoulder, but tell us what's going on at the State.
There are so many amazing things going on at the State Theater. As you know, typically we do tons and tons during the spring and summer, but most folks don't realize, you know, we really are year round. So in addition to all of the regular rentals that we have some really fun, exciting concerts coming up. So here in February, we have Colin Ray coming to the State Theater in concert on February the 17th. And then as we roll into March is a little bit heavier. So we actually have 2 comedians coming, and we're really excited to welcome them back. So on March the 16th, we have comedian James Gregory.
Oh.
He is known as the funniest man in America. And if you've ever had a chance to watch his show, I mean,
That's a big chip to put on somebody's shoulder.
it says it. It's like in his information. I'm like, ooh, that's pretty big. But yeah, he is. He's hilarious. And you know what's really fantastic about the comedy shows that we have at the theater is they are family friendly. So you know, you really don't have to worry. Some comedy shows you have to worry about bringing the kids or bringing your mom. There's some things you just don't want to listen to next to her. So, but yeah, so these are super friendly, family-friendly shows and activities. And then on March the 22nd, we welcome back Etta May, but she's bringing some friends, and they call themselves the Southern Fried Chicks. So it's really super fun, great spin on Southern comedy, and so that's great. And then on March 27th, we have The Reunion, which is a Beatles fantasy tribute.
Oh.
So for those of us who are super Beatles fans, they're going to love The Reunion.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of what's going on in March. Also, too, I'm not sure if you knew that the city of Elizabethtown has a program called Oh Snap. And yeah, it's like Oh Snap. And it is an activity group for our special needs community.
Oh.
And so they have something that rolls around once a month. Well, in March, okay, they are going to be coming to the State Theater on Tuesday, March the 12th, and to see a movie. So we really want to extend the invitation to anyone, in our community who, fits that, special needs. And we would just love to have you. You can always get more information on ElizabethtownKY.org.
Do you have any other movies that you're showing this time of year?
Well, we're kind of jumping in between, concerts and rentals and things like that. So our next movies won't occur until spring break. And
okay.
We're not ready to release those titles just yet.
So tell me a little bit. I'm intrigued. Now, Colin Ray, I have to admit, I'm not familiar with that name.
He is a national country music artist. Late 80s, 90s, 2000s, and he has some more recent things.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm sure if you looked him up, you would recognize several of his songs.
And what makes the Beatle fantasy reunion that you have coming up unique?
It is unique in that, there just aren't very many Beatles tribute bands, and this group has a remarkable. It's an inspired sound, and they're really great. They've toured all around, and they're going to be passing through Elizabethtown, and they gave us a call. And they're like, hey.
Coming through.
We're coming through. Can we have a spot on the stage? And we're like, well, yeah, of
Great.
course.
I get those calls all the time, and it's so exciting when you can help them out, and they help you out, and it's great for everybody. And it brings something fresh and new to the community that we wouldn't have maybe necessarily been able to afford to bring in. I love those things.
Absolutely.
We're a definite en route spot.
I like it.
Yeah.
And, vintage music is coming back.
Yes.
So I've been told. So
Yeah.
you have a lot of your young adults and teenagers who are into the Beatles. And I'm like, wait, what? But it's neat.
Yeah. And Priscilla, how can people learn more?
Absolutely. So thestate270.org, and you can get all of the information there.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Next up on the program, please welcome Miss Carmen Caldera-Bratska, representing the Elizabethtown Performing Arts Center. Well, hey there.
Hello.
I haven't seen you since December. What
I know.
have you been up to?
Well, it is audition season for us. We just finished auditions for Elizabethtown High School's Little Women, which will also have some students from TK Stone. And
Musical or the straight play?
the straight play.
Okay.
as well as some elementary students because we have a scene with a couple little ones. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
And TK Stone just finished auditions for their first show in 5 years.
Wow.
Yes, the last show was 2019 because COVID shut down The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh, fine.
Yes. So this year I wanted to start our senior directing program. So Madeline Curtis and Kate Schertz will be directing a one-act version of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe because they were in that show as 8th graders when it got shut down. So when I told them I wanted them to direct the TK Stone play and offered them all my scripts to go through, they said, we don't need to. We know exactly what we want to do.
Oh my gosh.
And so they found a one-act version of the show.
Smart.
And yes, and they have finished auditions and waiting on the cast list. And that show is March 1st and 2nd.
Very cool. Now,
Yes.
and when is the Little Women?
Little Women will be in April.
Okay.
And they are both in it. So I'm still kind of waiting on setting the exact dates for the show till I see where they are with Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, because it's a lot to direct a show and have a major role in another show.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm kind of debating on which weekend in April we will do Little Women.
And what else is going on? I know you always have your hands in a lot of different things.
Yes. Well, we just finished Theater Week with our Arts and Humanities classes at TK Stone. Had some fun doing Shakespeare with them and talking about technical theater and theater history in general. And then I'm going to be working with some of our special students at Elizabethtown High School. And we are bringing in a dance guest artist to work with our kindergartner through 5th graders.
Very fun.
So coordinating all of that and just, staying busy.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Yeah.
how can people learn more about everything going on there?
Our Facebook page is Elizabethtown Performing Arts Center, and everything is there. Links to buy tickets, information on the shows, concerts, whatever we have coming up, it's all there.
Well, you didn't mention any concerts, anything going on, what's coming up. That's usually like
They're a little
March,
far away.
April thing, right? Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And take care of yourself.
Thank you. I will do my best.
The PAC is proud to share a recent scheduling component, an 18-month living calendar designed to simplify requesting the PAC for events. This new calendar aims to enhance user experience, reduce conflicts, improve communications, and streamline the overall rental process for event organizers. The benefits of this 18-month living calendar include efficiency. Users can swiftly navigate through the calendar to identify and request available dates, making the scheduling process more efficient and user-friendly, and significantly reducing the time and effort required of event organizer and the PAC staff. Transparency. Question marks and check marks enhance transparency regarding each event's status, while color coding identifies how the PAC is utilized and by whom and on any given day. This transparency fosters trust between the PAC and event organizers, ensuring a clear understanding of the PAC's availability. Communication. The Living Calendars comment feature encourages open communication between the PAC and organizers. Whether correcting errors or requesting alternative dates, users can provide feedback directly on the calendar, fostering a collaborative environment. Proactive scheduling. The ability to see what dates are open for booking and to apply for unconfirmed dates through a convenient application link allows event organizers to be proactive in scheduling potential slots. This feature benefits those with tight scheduling requirements or specific event timelines. Key features of the 18-month calendar include Find. The Find feature in the Edit drop-down menu makes navigating the calendar easy. Users can search for their specific events, eliminating the need to scroll through months of dates manually. This feature ensures that recurring users can quickly identify when the PAC schedule might best align with their future event needs. Comment. The comment feature, accessible in the Insert drop-down menu, allows users to identify errors, update their status, or provide additional feedback, ensuring open communication between the PAC and event organizers and fostering a collaborative approach to scheduling. Unconfirmed. To provide transparency about the status of currently unrequested or proposed dates, events followed by a question mark are considered unconfirmed. These events are either still being processed or have not yet been applied for and are therefore our best guess to fulfilling recurring users' needs. If the user group agrees to the tentatively scheduled event, they can click the provided link in the lower right corner to apply for those dates. This proactive approach allows users to secure potentially available dates before they are officially confirmed. Confirmed. Events marked with a check mark have undergone the complete processing cycle, received final approval, and are ready to proceed. This distinction helps users quickly identify officially confirmed dates, ensuring a smoother planning process for event organizers and the PAC staff. With the introduction of this calendar, the PAC marks just our latest significant step towards providing a seamless and transparent scheduling process that promotes collaboration and communication within the performing arts community. Check out the PAC's 18-month living calendar by visiting thepac.net's facility rental page. Wow, that's going to about wrap things up for this month. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Bart Lovins, Director of Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center, and I will see you next month.